Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another great day for some lovely TA. Listen, a lot of things. Oh man, this is brewing up to be an amazing week already, and it's just Monday. We got Trump saying something about Bitcoin earlier this morning, and also there's a different version of the Fear and Greed Index that I want to show you guys. But first off, remember I'm a TA channel, so let's talk about TA briefly. This episode is gonna be pretty quick. I mean, there's nothing too much, and hopefully, maybe we can even see the breakout occurring during this recording. So, taking a look at Bitcoin once again, since my last video, it seems that we've been rejected twice already by the green 55 4-hour EMA, and not only that, but we've been rejected quite a bit by the 21 also. And you can see there's a lot of action going on within these regions because it's very tight. And the last 4-hour candle, we actually did close underneath the 10 simple and the lower portion of the triangle. So in about an hour and 20 minutes, we're gonna have the next 4-hour closure. And honestly, I did say 35.5 was my like inflection point where I have to pivot towards the bearish side. Honestly, I'm with this many amount of tests towards that price level. I'm probably just gonna have to call it early. Just say I'm pretty bearish right now. A bit more bearish and bullish, just because, like I said, when we test levels multiple times and a lot of times, it weakens that level, right? Think of like a door and you kick it. The more times you kick it, if it's like a wooden door, obviously, the more times you kick it, it's gonna eventually get weaker. Then it does fall through, right? So, I mean, you can just look here over the weekend. One, two, three, four, five, six, and we're at seven right here within 36 hours roughly, or 48 hours, and that it's a little too much for my comfort. If it happened on the top side, I would be like, yeah, I'll do the opposite, right? Because I always want to compare opposites. I'll be like, yeah, it's gonna be the same thing, right? We test so many times and it could break. You can also make the case like, why didn't this break? Well, these had a lot of times between them, and also you could tell that this one went a little bit higher, this one went a little bit lower, right? But look at these; these are pretty much like all lining up within each other. So, I mean, it's pretty much at this point, how long can the bulls hold this level before it falls through? Like I said, my point of inflection 35.5, but I kind of just want to prematurely call it that, I am going to flip a little bit bearish now just because of what happened recently. And again, we're still underneath these moving averages that I talked about. If we were at this position over here when we're above the green and starting to break the cyan color, yeah, I would say more bearish. I mean, sorry, more bullish. But I mean, just the fact that we got up here and we rejected not only once, but there's multiple times when we try to get above the green and we just reject it down below. And then also that we lost the yellow as support too. And then now we're already seeing our white. Again, these are short-term time frames. I'm doing it on the 4-hour. I mean, let's take a look at the daily, see what happened. And on the daily, yesterday we rejected the 10 daily simple moving average, right? And today we try to get above it, and looks like we are working pretty low, right below it. And as you can see, these moving averages are coming down quick, and they're going to come down hard, right? Again, remember I talked about the death cross. Almost every YouTuber is talking about it now. I've talked about it like a week ago, 10 days ago, whatever. But remember, the 55, which is the 55 daily EMA, which is our green band, crosses underneath the red or purple would indicate a death cross. And again, death crosses, how they usually play out is, let me just draw it here. As they come to intersect, usually we'll see a price rally towards up here, right? And that was one of my main theses why I'm looking for a bull trap. However, it might not occur that way. We might get something like this, maybe. I don't know, like a short-term pullback to like 30, 32 or something that would come up as this comes up. Obviously, this will probably take 2 to 3 weeks to occur, but that's one of my theses of why I was looking for a bull trap. However, yes, I'm still looking for a bull trap. Like I said, I'm anticipating that we might take a couple weeks, get here, maybe get a little bounce, keep going, and then maybe next month we'll actually cross underneath of it. Obviously, it depends on where the price action is. The lower this is, the more these will gravitate towards that, right? And I always like to look at the other side too. How could we avoid the death cross? Well, Very simply, the price just has to be above all of these levels and just hold for that level for quite a bit. Then these will start to move up, right, over time. But that's a big feat for Bitcoin because, as I said many times before, all these bands here, these are all resistance levels, right? The white, yellow, purple, red, green, cyan, plus these blue lines here, and not only that, but we have the 21 week, right? These bands will also act as our resistance levels. So if you're looking at the top side, there's probably over 10 levels of resistance, right? But if we look at our bottom side, how much down we have to fall, honestly, it's probably like $32,000, $30,000, maybe 28,000, 26, 24, all the way down to like 20,000, right? There's probably like less than 4 support levels that we have, but on the top side, there's 10, 12 resistance levels. So you know, just from a pure number perspective, there's a lot more Bitcoin has to do to get back to this level than go down to this level. Okay, this level is harder for Bitcoin, and usually Bitcoin tends to follow the path of least resistance. However, you can always say, yeah, Bitcoin sometimes just does what it wants to do, and that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin just all of a sudden just started pumping up here. However, we have to ask ourselves, is this likely? Would Bitcoin actually do this? From right now, I don't think it does. But it's a possibility. It could happen. There are a lot of shorts, and there could be a short squeeze. But you know, I don't care too much about being bullish or bearish. I just want to be on the right side of the trade. And again, personally, I'm not trading this right now. It's a little crazy to trade these sideways markets. Usually, I talked about Discord. You want to either try to long or buy at the support levels, and then if you're still kind of bearish a little bit, or if you're thinking we're going sideways, if you believe in the crab market, you would probably sell near the resistance levels. That's how it is. You can sell a short. Again, I don't really advertise too much about leverage trading because it's very hard, and it's pretty much gambling if you don't know what you're doing. For 80 to 90% of people, it is gambling because you'll find out very quickly you'll lose a lot of money, and leverage just makes you do it even quicker. You might have a few wins, but in the long term, you'll lose. Yeah, so, man, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Ethereum, it does look better. Like I said, this level here, remember my whole thesis, I want us to break above here so we can confirm a lower high. I won't draw the whole thing again. But today we did try to break above it. Looks like, I wouldn't call this a rejection just yet because we didn't really get to touch it. And remember, most of this also can depend on Bitcoin's, what Bitcoin does, right? So if Bitcoin can behave, then Ethereum can get some love. And if Ethereum can break above this level and retest, the 29,000 level, oh my god, this would be great for Ethereum. You can see like a $30,000 Ethereum again. I just, with the way Bitcoin's going, those odds are not for us right now. Now looking at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, this is quite healthy. Look, we're above all our moving averages, and then they're all positive, right? This looks great. However, this is somewhat high compared to what it was, just months ago. If we look back let's go back to January, right? January is about 0.23% of a Bitcoin. Now we're almost tripled that level, right? So we tripled the amount of Ethereum's worth relative to Bitcoin. Now, however, I did say many times in the past, I do believe Ethereum has a very high chance to get back to its all-time high relative to Bitcoin, which is about 14% of one Bitcoin. So one Ethereum would be roughly 14% of one Bitcoin. Right now, it's about half of that. I do believe within time, just not right now, right? Maybe a year, 6 months from now, Ethereum could try to do something like this. But remember, there's some resistance levels, and as you see, horizontal trading very easily. We just see where some levels line up, and here's a resistance level right here, right at the 0.083, and that's where it stopped out last time. And I would expect the same thing at the 0.1 level. 10% of a Bitcoin would also be resistance because remember, hold numbers, psychological numbers also play a factor. That's not really technical analysis; it's more like the sentimental value. But using a combination of those, you can increase your odds. But guys, it's very simple. At the end of the day, the message is, what is Bitcoin going to do? That is our key moment of the day. And my God, we have been going sideways for so long. You guys all deserve deserve a round of applause if you've been holding this whole time. So, we're gonna find out very soon. And let's just zoom in on a 5 minute chart just for the hell of it. And yeah, looks like I said, if we break under here, we're gonna retest levels, and it looks like we're falling through it again because that's just a confirmed, like a rejection. Yeah, right here. We fell through this time. It's like, oh, I'll come back here. Fell through another time. Psych, and doing it again. So, well, maybe, maybe one more time, right? Third time's the charm. But I don't know how many times it will do it. Because like I said, the more time to test it, the weaker it is. Please remember, it's not a 1 hour time frame. Don't take it too far. But that's pretty much all I have for TA today. I'll talk about the few things I mentioned earlier about what Trump said about Bitcoin, and then the new fear and greed index that they have for Ethereum coin. So let's go ahead and look at that. Our lovely orange man, doesn't like Bitcoin too much, right? He did an interview on Fox earlier this morning, about 5 hours ago, and he says, it seems like a scam, right? So you have to ask yourself, do you think someone like Trump, and I'm not mocking him as a human being, I'm just saying like his age group, do you think they could really understand the concept of Bitcoin? Because, I mean, remember, these guys are the same guys that said the internet was like devil's magic and the internet would never amount to anything, right? And look where the internet is today. So, guys, just you know, again, Trump did say that it dropped the price a little bit, whatever. Even on this article, they claimed that, oh my God, Trump dropped the price to 36,000. But let me argue with you, Bitcoin was in a range there anyway, right? It's nothing spectacular. We've literally hit 36,000 multiple times. Who cares, right? Um, and it seems like, again, I don't want to give him too much stop, but whatever, right? Again, back in 2019, he tweeted something negative about Bitcoin. It fell 10,000. Woo, people were whatever. But again, my argument is, do you think the old man really can understand what Bitcoin can offer to people? You know, I don't think he does, and it's fine. I mean, we're all gonna have different opinions, and he wants it to be very, very highly regulated. Great. Just because you don't understand something means you want to regulate it. That's very typical, but you know, I just don't think he understands completely, and that's fine because there's many times in history where someone has like a new technology and people just laugh at them and say, it's no big deal. It's not gonna do much, right? You think about electricity. The candle makers and all that. They hate electricity, right? What else is there? Like cars and horses, right? When cars first came out, people that had horses were like, "No, cars are stupid. Like none of us would actually use these things." I mean, there's many like, okay, you have like the telephone, right? Telephone versus the telegram. It's like, hey, we all know Morse code. Why would we bother using the telephone? It's stupid. So there's many times in history where a new technology comes out, and a lot of the current, how could I say, current users or the legacy users, they push back on it because they just don't understand, and it kind of threatens what they're used to. So guys, don't take it as, it's nothing personal. The old man just doesn't understand, and if anything, just feel sorry for him. And I mean, what can you do, right? What can you do? I don't have too much more to say about that. Fear and greed index, same thing, right? We're just gonna have levels of fear, yada yada. But here's the cool thing. So one of my friends showed me this one, and thank you again for showing me. This is a multifactorial Ethereum market sentiment analysis, right? And from what I understand is it's just gauging the relative sentiment amongst the ERC20 tokens, the Ethereum tokens, all the derivatives of Ethereum's. So this is pretty cool, and obviously they use sentiment like Twitter analysis, tweet analysis, and social media engagements and all that stuff. So, and as you can see by the charts, Ethereum is somewhat in a more bullish structure than Bitcoin. Because, like I said, let's look at the comparative of the two, right? All the good signs I want to see about the moving average is still there. And then this one, we're still fighting, right? Even though we're struggling, we're still fighting because we're not below the red just yet. However, Bitcoin is showing it is more weaker. So this isn't any surprise to me. I think alts still want to, push for dominance. Bitcoin dominance has fallen quite a bit, and it somewhat is just rolling over again. So I wouldn't be too surprised. But once again, if Bitcoin does fall down to the 30,000 level, 20,000 low $20,000 level, it will drag everything with it, and that's what scares a lot of people. And being in alts, you will get a higher exposure to that risk. As you can remember, just back last month, back in May 19th, when this happened, I mean, a lot of the alts were going crazy. They dropped by over 50%, very rapidly, right? So always be careful, and remember, alts are more risky just for that reason. Nothing's guaranteed. But guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys can, use a lot of my information. Once again, I appreciate all your support. Please like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, whatever. I would love to get to 20 subscribers, but 12 is awesome because I've pretty much gained one per day, and that's a good track to have. So, thanks once again, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.